What's up, United fans? Welcome back to United Focus. Big one today. United are eyeing a shock move for an Arsenal Academy graduate. Lewis Hall's push for Old Trafford hasn't gone away. There's a genuine hijack opportunity brewing for an Everton star, and we're going to explain exactly why things have gone so quiet on the transfer front. Grab a drink, this is a long one. Let's get into it. Let's start with a genuinely surprising story. Manchester United are prepared to move for Arsenal left-back Myles Lewis-Skelly, though they currently see his valuation as too high. Well-placed sources say Arsenal want considerably more than the £45 million figure that's been floated as his asking price, with the real number closer to £60 million. United would be happy to take Lewis-Skelly as their left-back solution, given how difficult it's proven to prize Lewis Hall away from Newcastle, but United have already decided a number of Premier League-based targets simply look overpriced this summer. It's worth remembering United have been fairly restrained so far, spending around £85 million combined on Andre Santos and Youri Tielemans. Tielemans actually arrived via a £35 million release clause at Aston Villa after an earlier move for Atalanta's Ederson fell through. Lewis-Skelly has become available following Arsenal's £75 million addition of Bruno Guimaraes in midfield, which has freed up space in their squad planning. He's an England international, primarily a left-back by trade, but he's also shown he can operate in defensive midfield, which happens to be another position United want to strengthen, making him a genuinely versatile target on paper. There's added complexity here too, with reports suggesting a number of different agents are involved in trying to help facilitate any deal. Lewis-Skelly is represented by his own mother, Marcia, who's carefully guided his career since his schoolboy days, and interestingly, she's actually completed a master's degree in football business and passed the FIFA exam to become a fully qualified agent herself. It's also worth noting Arteta didn't fully trust him early last season, restricting him to just 2 Premier League starts across the first 8 months amid some reservations about his maturity. But he went on to start in 5 of Arsenal's final 6 matches, including the Champions League semi-final win over Atletico Madrid and the final defeat to Paris Saint-Germain, showing just how far his stock has risen. And it's not just United sniffing around either. Chelsea have also been offered the chance to sign him, following Marc Cucurella's move to Real Madrid. Given Lewis-Skelly signed a 5-year deal at Arsenal only last summer, any sale would represent a serious statement and would likely need to eclipse the £35 million Arsenal received for Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain back in 2017 to be their new record sale. For now though, United are understood to still be prioritising Lewis Hall over a Lewis-Skelly deal, with Luke Shaw's contract situation. He's out of contract next year at 31, driving the urgency to sort out that left-back spot. Sticking with left-back, and Lewis Hall's situation remains one of the most stubborn stories of the summer. Despite Newcastle's continued resistance to selling him, Hall himself is still pushing for a move to Manchester United. United see the 21-year-old as the ideal long-term replacement for Shaw, but well-placed sources say Newcastle have actively taken steps to dampen talk of any move, determined to hold on to him as part of their own plans. Crucially, Hall's desire to leave hasn't changed even with Eddie Howe's departure. Howe has since been replaced by Matthias Gisel, because Hall reportedly privately felt Howe's handling of him during last season's run-in cost him a place in England's World Cup squad. That frustration, plus Newcastle finishing 12th in the Premier League last season, appears to have hardened his desire to move on regardless of who's in the dugout. United have belatedly accelerated their interest, but there's an added wrinkle. Newcastle have already banked a huge £244 million this summer from selling Anthony Gordon, Sandro Tonali and Bruno Guimaraes, meaning they're under far less financial pressure to cash in on Hall too. He's also under contract until 2029, and his recent return to the England squad has only pushed his value higher, making this an increasingly tough deal for United to force through. Switching to the training ground, Marcus Rashford was among 6 players who travelled out to the Republic of Ireland to rejoin his United teammates for their training camp. Rashford reported to United's Carrington complex early on a Sunday morning before flying out to Dublin later that day. United had played PSG in Gothenburg the day before and flew straight on to Ireland, where the squad are based at Carton House in Maynooth. United arranged a private jet to fly Rashford, Kobbie Mainoo, Lisandro Martinez, Benjamin Sesko, Senna Lamens and Matthias Cunha across the Irish Sea to link up with the group. Rashford, Mainoo and Martinez have now completed their mandatory 3-week post-World Cup breaks, following England and Argentina's involvement in the third-place playoff and the final last month. Not everyone's fully back up to speed though. Sesko has actually missed all 4 of United's pre-season friendlies so far as he continues recovering from a shin injury, while Lamens and Kuna were both absent for the 1-1 draw with PSG due to illness. Now let's address something a lot of you have probably noticed. It's gone very quiet on the transfer front at Old Trafford, and there's actually a clear explanation for it. One insider at the club joked the busiest thing happening recently was actually a change of coach for the women's team, which tells you a lot given United haven't announced a single new signing in 4 weeks. That's understandably frustrating for fans whose mood tends to live and die by transfer news, but this was reportedly a deliberate decision. Word is United chose to hit pause on transfer activity after their initial flurry of arrivals in order to properly reassess their position before pushing forward again. There's also a tactical shift worth explaining. United have belatedly concluded that it's a fullback they need on the left rather than a winger, and that's not entirely by choice. The ongoing inability to move Marcus Rashford on has effectively blocked United from bringing in a new winger or forward, and Joshua Zirkzee's lingering presence at the club has had a similar effect on their attacking plans. There's also a broader financial story here. United's spending discipline this summer looks overdue, given some of the deals from recent years. Casemiro, Antony, Andre Onana and Rasmus Højlund all arrived within roughly the last 4 years and became symbols of United's reputation for overspending. The salary structure at the club is reportedly much stricter these days too. The era of agents like Mino Raiola holding United to ransom is long gone, with Chief Executive Omar Barada having publicly stressed even before officially taking over that the club won't overpay for players going forward. There's also an interesting wage structure point being made. Ideally, Bruno Fernandes would be United's best paid player, reflecting his status as arguably their most important performer. But it's currently a bit awkward for the club that Rashford, who scored 15 goals while out on loan at his parent club over 3 seasons, sits above Fernandes in the pay structure, another factor influencing how United are approaching business this summer. Finally, some fresh attacking intrigue. Reports suggest Manchester United are now well placed to potentially beat other suitors to Everton's Iliman Ndiaye. Andre Santos and Youri Tielemans remain United's most notable additions so far this window, and the club are still in the market for more, with reports consistently pointing toward a third midfielder and a new left-back as the priorities. There's also been suggestion United could bring in an attacker too, though that's looking less likely now, with Rashford expected to stay at United following his loan spell at Barcelona. Still, another signing in attack shouldn't be entirely ruled out under the right circumstances. That's where Ndiaye comes in. The Everton forward has been heavily linked with a summer exit after standing out in the Premier League over the past couple of seasons. Football Insider report he's already agreed personal terms with Saudi Pro League side Al Hilal earlier in the summer, but that deal hasn't been finalised yet because Al Hilal and Everton haven't settled on terms between themselves. That gap has reportedly left the door open, with United said to be well placed to hijack the move if they choose to push forward. Former United chief scout Mick Brown has weighed in on this too, saying he wouldn't rule out a Premier League club, potentially United, eventually winning the race for Ndiaye, adding he certainly wouldn't be surprised to see a top-flight side swoop in before the deal with Al Hilal is finalised. Let me know in the comments which of these stories excites you the most and whether you think United should go all in on a hijack for Ndiaye. Smash that like button, subscribe if you're new here. Moving on. Right, the left-back situation has just taken a genuinely significant turn. Racing Santander's sporting director Chema Aragon has publicly admitted there would be almost nothing they could do if Manchester United came in with an offer matching Salinas' release clause. That is an extraordinary admission from a sporting director, essentially telling the world if United pay €13.7 million, we cannot stop the player going. No negotiation required, no drama, trigger the clause, done. Salinas has been described as a left-footed Sergio Ramos, capable of playing left-back and centre-back, which gives Carrick positional flexibility. He is 19 years old, starred for Spain's Under-19 European Championship winning team, and United's recruitment staff believe he is ready for first-team football immediately. Hall remains United's #1 target, but Newcastle are adamant he is not for sale, and with everything they have already sold this summer, Gordon, Tonali, Guimaraes, their resistance on Hall appears genuine and firm, so the logical sequence becomes clear. Make one final approach for Hall, confirm if Newcastle's price is truly unmovable, and if so, trigger the Salinas release clause immediately. £13.7 million. Youth and potential. Left-back and centre-back cover. Barcelona are offering €8 million and losing out because Racing wants €16 million. United can simply match the clause. The fact that Racing's own sporting director has gone public with that admission suggests they know Salinas is leaving and are managing expectations. United should trigger the clause this week. Brief update on Adam Wharton. Crystal Palace are playing absolute hardball with their valuation of the 22-year-old England international. £86 million is Palace's demand. United are still thought to be leading the race, but Chelsea and Real Madrid are also monitoring. At £86 million for a player of genuine quality but who has had one standout season, this is a significant fee. United have been consistent this window about not overpaying relative to a player's proven track record. Anderson went for £116 million and United walked away. Fernandes went for £85 million and United walked away. Does the same logic apply to Wharton at £86 million? Given the growing sense that Mount's repositioning might solve the deeper midfield issue, combined with the preference for spending resources on left-back rather than another midfielder, the Wharton pursuit may quietly cool in the coming days unless the price drops significantly. Jed Spence, offered to United by representatives. Quick mention, Tottenham's Jed Spence has reportedly been offered to United by his own representatives. Liverpool also in the mix as the right-back seeks regular football after an impressive World Cup performance for England. United's preference at left-back is Hall, then Salinas. At right-back they have Diogo Dalot and Mazraoui. Spence does not immediately fit either primary need, but right-back cover is always useful, and if he is available at a low price following his Tottenham departure, it is worth at least assessing.